I was pretty excited to see a reference to Chill Kill in the trailer video for Cosmic. There's many different references to Red Velvet's discography in this trailer. This trend of self-referencing for them has been around for quite a while at this point. I think as early as the first Reva Festival in 2019, maybe even before that. Red Velvet has kind of always referenced their earlier works. However, the immediate reference to their last release feels a lot more intentional with the narrative of the Cosmic album in mind. We see Red Velvet on an abandoned bus that they have seemingly inhabited, and the "Have you seen these missing girls" poster from Chill Kill's promotional period is posted on the front of the bus. I was very interested after seeing this to see if Cosmic was going to continue the narrative of Chill Kill in some ways, especially considering Chill Kill doesn't exactly conclude the narrative it initially presents, and I really think Cosmic does continue this story. I don't think I'm reaching too far with my analysis of this, but you'll have to hear me out. So the trailer for Cosmic also makes reference to Peekaboo, which, like Chill Kill, is another song with a narrative about capturing the subject of the story in some capacity, and as it turns out, Cosmic also presents us with yet another kidnapping story, this time in the backdrop of Midsummer's Day. I've made 2 videos about Chill Kill so far, and my understanding of that album is that it's of course about a lot of things, but the concept of change is a narrative through line throughout the entire album. The idea behind what a chill kill is in a person's life has to be some kind of life-altering change, right? And so it is the chill kills in their life that Red Velvet as the narrator has both relied on and also feared throughout the entire Chill Kill album. Whether it be hoping that the situation they're in right now is going to change to something better, or dreading the change that comes with the end of a relationship, a fear of change, not wanting things to end, whether it be out of care for another person or just simply the plain fear that comes with such an upsetting time in your life. They ask quite painfully on the song of the same name, "Will I ever see you again?" placing an importance on the idea of hoping that unyielding change and the passage of time may bring the narrator and the subject of the story together again, and that things may finally work out between them. Cosmic seems to be the next step in this story. The narrator and the subject of the story from Chill Kill have yet to reunite here. The subject of the story from Cosmic is someone new, a described far-flung star who has suddenly entered the orbital space of the narrator. Now that the subject is here, the conditions of this relationship seem perfect. The narrator can't pass up the chance to lose someone who may be their true love. Especially after losing the subject of the story from Chill Kill, Red Velvet is acutely aware of how much of an impact change can have on the good things in their life. Time between them is fleeting, and the moment they're here together is eventually going to come to an end. If Chill Kill places us in the moment, relying on change to get us out of the bad situations we're in, Cosmic also places us in the moment, yet fears the consequences of change, and the future as the moment we're in right now seems to be the most ideal. Our narrator seems to be very aware of the idea that the moment of Cosmic is not going to last forever, and the fear or anxiety behind what comes next is what has them relying on this idea of the day never ending. They just can't say goodnight. It's somewhat of a callback to "Will I Ever See You Again" in this way, but this time, Red Velvet knows that the two of them meeting again is probably not likely. It has to be this moment. Red Velvet have taken this idea, not being able to say goodbye, to quite literally a cosmic level. They make a pretty consistent reference to an unsetting sun, so much that it's the name of a group of teasers which depict Red Velvet in some kind of sun sanctum that we eventually see in the music video, which will be important to remember later. I originally wanted to make an argument that, of course, the sun has to set. There's only 24 hours in a day, and so the both of them will eventually have to say goodbye to each other as a new day comes along, but there is a reality where this idea behind the unsetting sun is true. This brings me to why Midsummer's Day is the backdrop of this video's narrative. Again, Red Velvet can't bring themselves to say goodbye, afraid of change and the likelihood of never seeing this person again, and so the day can't end, the sun can't set. Midsummer is held in celebration of the longest day of the year, and Red Velvet just so happened to release Cosmic on Midsummer's Day this year, on June 24th, which this is exactly why I will be a Revel of all the way to the end. The thorough commitment to the concept, even down to the release strategy, the release date of this project, is exactly why they're the best of the best, but the culmination of the narrator in this story desperately trying to make things work between her and the subject makes an unassuming breakthrough at the end of the bridge of Cosmic. As we see Red Velvet in the sun sanctum, a silhouette of the subject of the story is seen falling towards the ceiling, and just as he breaks and impacts the glass, we find out that he has been the sun this whole time. The setting of the sun is not just a symbol for the passage of time, but rather a representation of the kind of love the subject gives to the narrator of this story. The subject's love is truly cosmic in this way, unconcerned with the desires of any single person on Earth. If his love is cosmic as it relates to the sun, then from here on Earth, it will always eventually have to set. That is a cosmological rule under most circumstances here on Earth, unless a group of 5 people somehow manage to steal the sun for themselves, betraying the cosmos to see their desires made real at whatever the cost. The narrator could theoretically travel around the Earth, always going in the direction of the setting sun so that it technically never sets from their perspective. But what is the implication of that? We see in the cosmic trailer that Red Velvet are drawn to the effects of the sun, observing how its rays of light can light a candle on fire and, notably, burn their skin. If the subject of this story's love is cosmic as it relates to his love behaving like the sun, of course there are necessary qualities to the sun as there are to love, yet too much of either thing can be damaging. The metaphorical consequence of Red Velvet traveling around the Earth to make sure the sun never sets in their eyes is eventually going to ruin themselves. They'll constantly be sunburned, their vision will go out if they're always staring at the sun, they'll never be able to sleep if they constantly have to move in the direction it sets. I think the main idea behind this track as it relates to the narrative is quite literally traveling too close to the sun for the sake of love, roaming all over the Earth to make unrealistic ends meet. If that's what it takes to make things work, then it's not sustainable. The subject of this story's love being described as cosmic or otherworldly in this story is not a good thing in retrospect. Quite literally, the subject's love is described as something as distinct from humans and Earth, which doesn't make it seem very feasible from the perspective of our narrator who is here on Earth. The observable conclusion to this story is the narrator perishing by trying to make this kind of cosmic love work between them. The sun setting here on Earth has its purpose, and if the subject of the story's love is cosmically comparative to the sun, then perhaps it was always meant to set. It was always meant to eventually end. So the narrator choosing to betray the cosmos to make this love work is quite literally going to burn her by the end. That's kind of my main idea about this, why I think this music video takes place on Midsummer's Day, or the longest day of the year, as a kind of representation of the narrator's struggle in trying to make this cosmic love more feasible. It's not feasible, is the lesson I've drawn from this story. Red Velvet kind of spells it out for us. I just can't say goodnight. I can never say goodnight because your love is cosmic. That's not really a good thing. It's the underlying conflict to the entire story as I see it, this central idea or narrative about the subject's love being otherworldly and consequently unsustainable for anyone trying to be able to handle it without overexerting themselves. In the end, and if Cosmic really does want to continue the ideas presented in Chill Kill, it seems to portray the pitfalls of trying to stop the natural order of things from happening just for the sake of getting what you want. Things come and go naturally, change is inevitable, and trying to betray cosmology just to make something work out should maybe be a sign that it's not all that desirable in the first place. Of course, we consider it important, we need the sun, but it can also be damaging to humans if exposed to for extended periods of time. That's what I think about this, my understanding of Red Velvet's Cosmic as it stands right now with Chill Kill and the narrative about change in mind. Let me know if you have any other ideas or theories about this, if you see this story in a different way. I know they're about to release a repackage of this album for their 10th anniversary, so I wonder if the new song we're about to get is going to touch on this story, or maybe it's just more of a celebration of them being a group together for 10 years. Maybe it's both. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. It's Red Velvet, but I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, thank you for watching this. If you did, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time.